Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild, all his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off, online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and in today's episode, we are joined by a very special guest, current professional goaltender, Frank Marat. Frank is a current professional hockey goaltender in the American Hockey League and the East Coast Hockey League with the Bridgeport Sound Tigers and the Allen Americans. He played junior hockey in the BCHL and the CCHL, along with playing NCAA Division I hockey with Robert Morris University for 3 years and Clarkson University for 1 year before turning pro. So it's going to be a fun episode. Welcome to the show, Frank Marat.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So how have you been? Like you guys have had a little bit shorter of an off season this year. So how's everything been going with you?
It's been good. Like you said, our season ended on June 21st. So obviously less time to get ready for next season. But at the same time, I made sure I took the time off from hockey. I took about a month to kind of regroup and be excited to go back on and get working at it again. So I traveled a lot, and now I'm back home in Montreal and getting ready for the next season.
Yeah, absolutely. So like how's summer training been? Like since you do have that shorter off season, like how long do you usually take off compared to like what you're taking off this year compared with the shorter season? Just what do you do for the training wise?
Well, last year was such a different year that I had to readjust because when COVID hit, I didn't really want to get away from training and going on the ice because I didn't know there was so much uncertainty with the situation. So I was trying to keep going at it, keep going on the ice, keep working hard, and try to stay in peak shape that whole time. So it was tough. Obviously, it took a lot out of me. So when this season ended, I had a couple injuries. So it was best for me to just stay off the ice for a little bit and keep working out. I think when you play in the East Coast, especially last year, there were a lot of games. And in Bridgeport, I practiced a lot. I was on the ice 3 hours a day. So just being able to kind of move away for a little bit and take care of those little nagging injuries, still work out. I never stopped working out. I think it's more of a lifestyle thing to stay healthy in general. And then I just started going back on the ice at the start of the month. So I'm actually feeling really good. That's not usually what I do during the summers. I only take a couple of weeks, but such a unique situation that I felt like I needed to do it.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta give the body and the mind a rest because you put it through a lot, especially during the short season when you're playing. every other day, like whatever it is, and just your body takes a toll. Goaltending is a tough position, and it just keeps getting worse and worse when as the season goes on, and it's a grind.
Right. No, exactly.
Yeah, so I wanted to hop in here and talk about like this was your first pro year. You spent time with the Bridgeport Sound Tigers and the Allen Americans and the Coast. So like what was it like within the COVID season? Like what were some of the like the struggles and the obstacles that you guys had to overcome due to the COVID season?
I think obviously the toughest part is usually you're part of a team and all the guys are able to hang out together, but during COVID, there was none of that in Bridgeport. I was waking up at like 7:30, going to the rink for 8, and then it was from 8 to 1, and then you come back home and you can't leave. You can't really see each other, so it's hard on a relationship point of view. Um, and then obviously you go to Texas, and it's a little bit different, a little bit more open, as everyone knows. So that was fun to be able to go out, go to Texas Rangers games, and kind of be part of society a bit more. I think COVID kind of pushed us apart, so that was nice to get back in that kind of hockey feeling and the true, or closer to a true type of season. So
Yeah, absolutely. So like it was a tough season for everyone, but you made the most of it. You played games, which that's pretty much all you can ask for it during this time, especially when a lot of people don't even have jobs and get released every single day.
no, exactly. I was very fortunate to play games, and yeah, as you mentioned, like a lot of people are just out there waiting for jobs, and even goalies. A lot of goalies are out there right now waiting to sign a contract and have an opportunity to play. And I was fortunate to have that, and now it's just a matter of like seizing the opportunity and run with it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like what did you have to learn throughout like all these changes and everything, especially like a game could get canceled within a day's notice and it could be pushed back like a couple months. Like how would you go through that and like what would you learn from those experiences when they could get shut down just like that?
I think just to stay focused on a few things, not to get overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff you can't really control. And it's funny because it's like that everywhere in life, but as a goalie too, you can't predict how the play's going to turn out. You got to react and be prepared for
Yeah.
that situation. So, um, like I said, just being prepared, but not too much at the same time. Like there's a fine balance between uh, um, going out and working at it every day and putting in the hours, and then you're bound to burn out. So just going to the rink, putting in the work, and then going back and relaxing. I think that was my biggest lesson throughout the year for my first pro year. You go to college and it's easy to get away from the game. You go to the rink, go to school. So it's two separate things that you can manage. But in pro hockey, it's your whole life. You're getting paid to do that. So there's a part of you that thinks you have to spend your whole day, spend an 8 to 5 just thinking about the game, but that's not sustainable. So I think that was a good thing. COVID year, shortened season. I got to learn that lesson and made me ready for this upcoming season.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about staying with what you can control. Like you can't control everything, like especially like hockey, like life. You can't everything gets thrown your way. Sometimes you just gotta battle through it and just but like you just gotta stay in control with what you can control. Just like in hockey and being a goalie, like being in position, making those saves, making the routine saves, and just controlling like your pregame warm up, your warm ups and all that, your system and like things like that is to help you become a better goaltender and be more successful.
Right. I think if you look at the if you play hockey for the outcome, then I mean, yeah, again, it goes for everything in life, but you can't just look at the outcome because we don't know what the outcome is going to be with COVID. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So if you look at it, the journey type side of things, then gives you a better chance to kind of be excited about what might happen that day instead of being scared.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you're going into the season, into your first pro season, you get your first pro win, and then later on you get your first pro shutouts. Like, do you remember those games and like how special were those moments for you?
Yeah, I mean, it had been such a long time since my last game. Actually, funny story, my last game was with Clarkson and Cornell in February of 2020, maybe. So it had been more than a year since
Yeah.
I last played. So it was a tough game. It was supposed to be a conference clinching game, but we tied the game with 2 seconds left against Cornell the day before, and so that game didn't really mean anything anymore in Cornell, and it's a pretty tough place to play. They have
Yeah.
a good student section and all that stuff, and they came at us hard, and it ended up with me shattering my stick on top of the goalpost. So that's a funny story I have. I have as far as how my college career ended. That's literally the last game. But to come back to your question, like you go back, you go back. It's just a way different game too. The ECAC is kind of a defensive type of game, and then you go to the East Coast Hockey League, and it's more like run and gun. And
Well, like a
to
free
be
flow.
honest, yeah, exactly. So to be honest, I don't. I do remember my first win, obviously, but it was just so overwhelming. I was so excited. I was so in the moment of that game that it kind of flew by. And then I remember the next day. So I left Bridgeport. I believe it was on a Thursday. So I got the call on a Wednesday night that I was gonna leave, and then took the plane Thursday afternoon. I got there Thursday night, and then the next day we were playing, and I showed up for the morning skate, started skating around, and the coach came up to me and he's like, "Yeah, you're in." So quick turnaround, and it's probably a good thing. I didn't really have time to think too much about it, but it was an exciting moment just to get playing again, and we ended up winning that game 3-2. Um, and then the next day we played against the same team, and it was a tougher game and made me realize that the East Coast not exactly the ECAC, and I think I got something like 5 or 6 breakaways that game.
Oh,
Something unbelievable. And yeah, so I was fortunate to be tossed in like that quick. Like I said, I didn't have time to think about it, and then a couple weeks later, I got my first pro shutout. So it's fun because now two things that are out of the way, and I can just focus on playing my game, right? So
yeah. What a welcome to the league. Get off the plane, and then you're starting that night, and just you're probably jet lagged. Your legs probably feel like bricks. Like you just gotta get that through. All get that mindset out, and just don't think about it. Just play.
yeah, no, and then like like you said, it was my first pro game, so the adrenaline also probably helped
That
a whole
probably
lot.
helped a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you go you go up to Bridgeport, you get your first AHL call ups. Like how special was that call up and like just starting and playing in 2 games in the AHL and being a part of the Sound Tigers organization?
Yeah, so how it happened, I was in Minnesota for Christmas time, and um, I actually signed a contract with Allen during that time. I was supposed to leave on the Sunday, and then the Friday Bridgeport called, so I ended up leaving for Bridgeport, and then that's where I started off actually. And I had my hotel quarantine to do there and all that stuff. But then you get to the rink and everything's really professional, you know. Um, like the trainers take care of you, and um, like you're following a strict schedule. And no, it's like I said, it was really good. I got to see it for a short span of time because now I can readjust for the future. And whatever opportunity comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. So like going throughout like the season or like looking back at like what were some of your favorite moments from this like odd season, whether it be with Allen or with Bridgeport?
I think just connecting. I made I connected with a few people, so just getting to know others and seeing what they do. I mean, the higher up you go, the more you realize that guys are really professional and they're trying to find those little advantages to get them to the next level and get them a little better. And I've always been like that, trying to find um, the next step up that's gonna make me better than the person next to me, and that's gonna make me not only for myself but for the team like a better goaltender. So it was fun to look around in Bridgeport and see like a bunch of guys like doing different things. You learn so much from just looking around, and I think that helped me a lot too.
Yeah. So when you were learning through all these connections and everything, like was there one like mentor that stood out to you and just helped you become a better goaltender throughout the season and just to stay on you and just help you with anything you need?
Yeah, so the goalie coach in Bridgeport was unbelievable. Uh, he really helped me like relax and see me like the bigger picture of my game and try to understand what my strengths are and work on those instead of looking at some weaknesses I may have. We're all unique in the way we play, so it's easy to look to the guy next to you and be like, wow, he's able to do this. I should probably be able to do this, and you get lost in trying to be like someone else when you're really unique in the way you play, and that's really what got me there too. So he was really good in maintaining that relationship and reminding me every day that I got a few things I got to focus on, and that's it. Just to have fun and show up to the rink, and stuff's gonna work out.
Yeah, that's awesome. You need those people in life where they're gonna
Hmm.
tell you to keep having fun. Like it's a job, but if you're having fun, like you're not really working. And it's just a lifestyle, and you love doing it. You're not gonna want to quit or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So looking back through year one, going into year two, like what are some of the things that you're most looking forward to going into your second year of professional hockey?
I think just having a little more stability, um, going in and knowing just a little bit more of what it's gonna look like. Obviously, you're in pro hockey, you can get traded and all that stuff, but I can go in into the AHL and know what it's like and what's expected of you, and obviously no more faces, so that helps too. If I ever need some help, I got someone to reach out to, but um, also just to build on what I've done last year and yeah, show my improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all you can do is just show your improvement, just enjoy the experiences and just learn from everything and just keep on going.
Right. No, like we said at the start, I'm lucky to be doing what I'm doing. Um, a lot of goalies are stuck. I mean, I was fortunate. I went to Clarkson. I had a really good year, and even for me, it was pretty hard to kind of come out and find a spot. So there's a lot of goalies out there that were hoping to get out of college with a pretty good career and sign a deal in the East Coast or try out in the East Coast, and they didn't even get to do that because I mean half the teams didn't play, and then it was just a mess traveling around to Europe, let's say. So no, I'm just really grateful that I'm having those opportunities.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I want to take this time to go through like your junior career a little bit here and going into college and like your transition from Robert Morris to Clarkson and all that. So like going in, so you played prep hockey before you went to juniors. Like what made you choose the prep hockey route compared to just going straight into juniors?
So, I mean, for me, it all started when I was 14. So I was still playing bantam here, so U14 in Quebec. the way it works out here is you're separated by cities, so you can't play for another city. You got to play in the city you live in. Now it's changing a little bit. It's more based with school, so whatever school you go with, a bit more like the U.S. But I was always stuck behind the same goalies. So my 15-year-old year, I decided to move to the U.S. Obviously, in Quebec, the big league is the QMJHL, but I saw that I needed a little bit more time to develop as a person, as a player. So I got great support from my parents, and I left for Colorado when I was 15 years old. I played there 15, 16, and then I made the move to prep school in Vermont. And then I went to showcase the Chowder Cup. A lot of hockey players have been through there, I think. And a scout from Cowichan Valley in the BCHL saw me play there, so he gave me a shot to come to the pre-camp and show what I could do. So I had to beat out a bunch of goalies and ended up making the team. And first game, I wore new skates and I couldn't skate at all. I think I got scored 6 goals and 25 shots. And
rough one for the start.
yeah, tough one to start. And then we had a goalie that had just played 4 years in the QMJHL that came over, so he played all the games. I ended up starting 5 games that year. The guy had an .865 save percentage. So at the end of the year, I got released. So I didn't have a team when I was 19. I got a call from Manitoba, Dauphin Kings. Talked to the coach, like, yeah, come over. You're gonna play. You're gonna play 7 or 8 out of 10. I'm like, all right. So at the end of that summer, I still went to QMJHL camp. I got invited, and I still had my eligibility at the time, and I wanted to keep it. But I'm like, oh, I'll just go experience what it's like and go to the camp for 48 hours. And at the end of 48 hours, I go in the GM's office and I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna leave. Like, I want to go play Division 1. I'm 19 and I'm about to leave for Manitoba. He's like, oh, too bad. We were gonna keep you as our backup. So in my head, I'm like, wow, maybe that was it. But I didn't take it. I left, and then a couple weeks later, I left for Manitoba. Stayed there 2 weeks for the training camp, and at the end of the 2 weeks, the coach brings me in the office and he's like, yeah, we're gonna trade you. I'm like, okay. And he ended up releasing me. Yeah, here we go again. I'm basically suitcase. So he ended up releasing me because he didn't want to trade me to any other team in the league for some reason. Who knows? Released me. I went to the USPHL premiere at the time, Springfield Picks. Coach like, yeah, come on over. You're gonna play some games. I don't like my 2 goalies. So show up down there. There's paperwork that has to be done when you get down there for Hockey USA. So I didn't get to play for 2 weeks. So I just practiced. At the end of the 2 weeks, we're playing games, and coach comes up to me. He's like, never mind. I like my goalies. You can stay here and practice. So I'm 19. I'm 19 years old at the time. Still don't have a place to play. Still want to play NCAA Division 1, but it looks pretty slim at the time. But I kept being naive and believing that I could do it. So I ended up going to the CCHL. I tried out for a few teams. First game was against Carleton Place. They were ranked first in the country. Ended up beating them. We were like last in our league. We ended up beating them, and I stuck around, played the last like 30 games there, and then I played 55. I beat like most games record in that league. So I played a bunch, and then I got offered to go to Robert Morris, 75% scholarship, and that was my only option. There was also Alabama that was calling me at the time, and I called them too. I'm like, hey, I got offered this. What do you guys think? like, we're not ready. So ended up going to Robert Morris. Um, by not by default, but I mean, I didn't want to wait any longer and miss out
Yeah.
on the opportunity. It's still a D1 school and a good school. Like they had done well in the years prior to. So took off for Robert Morris, and obviously third goalie when I started off there. The starter had won the conference championship a couple of years prior. So he started the first weekend. He got injured. He had hips problem. So the second game they put in the second goalie, and he got scored on 4 goals, and so I got my opportunity right away to play, and kind of took off with it. And I ended up playing 3 years at Robert Morris. Had great memories. By the way, Robert Morris, really sad what's going on. Um,
Yeah.
to have to have played there and seeing everything going on, and just their program going away like that with all the history and the memories I've made there. It's like you're taking away a part of my history at the same time, and the history of all the players that I've gone through, and even worse for the guys that were there too this year and hoping to keep going. The transfer portal being so jammed up too, kind of tough situation to be in. But anyways, at the end of my junior year, decided to grad transfer, and I had a couple options. Decided on Clarkson and did my MBA there, and that's about it. And then it got cut off early with COVID, but yeah, we were
Yeah.
fifth in the country. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
unfortunate, but that's a great like story of your junior and college career. Like I would imagine at 19, like the suitcase that you were at that time, like you had to grow up and mature quickly. It's like what did you learn throughout that, and just knowing that you could get released at any time, and just that you're a traveling suitcase at that point. You just gotta find a home somewhere and hopefully find that opportunity to stick.
yeah, I think I never thought to myself, oh, this is impossible. I'm not gonna achieve my goal of playing in the NCAA. Even though I was 19 and didn't have a team, I was so prepared. I think I tried to do everything the right way. I was working out hard. I was going on the ice and putting in the shifts, and I was feeling good. I was getting good feedback from people around me. Now it was just a matter of finding the person that acknowledged me and acknowledged my game. And I was really lucky to go in the TN and in the CCHL, and they saw that in me, and it gave me confidence too. Gave me confidence to keep going, and it still does today. Like those small encounters are so important. There's such a big building block um, to who I've become today and how I'm able to climb obstacles still. So
Yeah, absolutely. And just the obstacles that you have to climb, like it doesn't get any easier when you do face those obstacles and adversity that you have to overcome. And just going into mindset here, like there was a few seasons where like things didn't go your way, like you said earlier. So like how would you like change that mindset from like a negative mindset into like a positive mindset, and just like looking for the opportunities to come, and just trusting that what you're doing is going to get you an opportunity sooner or later?
yeah, I think it's easy. Even in the AHL this year, I didn't get to play so much, so it's easier to get to practice, and all your eggs are in the same basket. You don't have the opportunity to really show what you can do during a game, so the practice is your game, and it's not a bad thing. You go there and you give it your all, but um, like I said earlier, there's also so much you can do. I mean, you can work super hard every minute of every practice, but your mind's not going to follow. You only have finite focus you can work with, so it's about making a couple hours really worth it during while you're at the rink. So that's what this year has taught me, just to be more of your energy expenditure and putting it to good use, not only like working hard to work hard, having a really good intention behind it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's good that you brought up like practice and like you weren't playing often, so you had to like make practices like games, and just like a lot of guys won't have like that same intensity during practice and they would in a game. And like you just have to, especially when you're not playing as much, like that's your only opportunity. You have to be on the ice and be skating with the team and just have that game like atmosphere when you're like doing those mini games at practices. And it's just like you have to go through the grind of that, and just it helps you become a better goaltender in the long run, especially with a good mindset like that.
Oh, exactly. I think you're showing up to practice and doing what you can, and when your turn comes, it's just a matter of showing you're prepared. That's all. Because it really, I mean, it's easy to say it really matters in pro hockey what you do every day and how people perceive you and the work you put in. But then if you do everything right and you get to a game and you don't perform, well, guess what? There's 5 other goalies behind you that are waiting to get that chance. So it's about being prepared, not burning out, and you show up to a game and you're at your peak. So it's about finding that balance, and that balance so hard to find. Like it's a really fine line that you're walking, and I think the more I play, the more seasons go by, the closer I'm getting to that line. So that's exciting. It's a journey and it's never ending. It's always going to be hard, but just gotta embrace it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you face like the same thing like when you're at Robert Morris and you were the third string, and then your starting goalie gets injured, and then you're the backup, didn't have a great game, then you got that opportunity and you took it and rode with it a little bit, and just like that just comes from like waiting for that opportunity and practicing like you would in a game, and just getting those getting like that good like habits in you, and just like keep working hard, like just keep your head down, just you're gonna get that opportunity sooner or later, and just you made the most of it when it came.
Right? Exactly.
So then you go from Robert Morris into Clarkson. So like what was that transfer portal like, especially with like when it's so crowded? Like how does the transfer portal like, or how does the transfer portal work for those that don't know?
So before this year, it's a bit different with COVID now. Everyone could transfer, and that was pretty bad. I heard there were like 300 people on that portal last year. So, but when I was in Robert Morris, it was kind of new. No one really knew about it, and very few people had done it. There was a goalie from St. Lawrence a couple of years prior that did it and transferred to Wisconsin. But yeah, when I did it as a grad student, you get on the transfer portal to change teams, and you don't have to redshirt. But if you are anything, or if you hadn't done your degree, you couldn't transfer without redshirting. So I packed it in. I took six classes every semester and finished my degree in finance at Robert Morris on my junior year. And then it was asking my coach, going up to my coach after his season ended and asking him to put me on the portal, and then it's just a matter of waiting for teams to call. So there's a system, and all the teams can go on it and see who's on it and call whoever they want on their teams. So I think at the time there were I want to say like 8 or 9 teams that contacted me. So I built a list of pros and cons and location and visibility and all that stuff, and I narrowed it down to 3 teams: Merrimack, ASU, and Clarkson. And then I visited Merrimack, I visited Clarkson, and then I skipped out on Arizona State because I was scared I was gonna get hooked by going. But no, I went to Merrimack, I went to Clarkson, and my idea was pretty much made before. Clarkson had had a great year the year before. They won their conference, and they lost in the first round to Notre Dame, but I think they finished like seventh in the country. So I knew they had a good team coming back, and I wanted to show I could also win with a winning team and help a winning team out. So yeah, I decided to go there. Um, and then I started the first weekend in Michigan, which was unreal. Such a cool place to play. And then again, I rolled with it the whole year. I got lucky enough to play pretty much every minute of that year, and yeah, had a great year. And then it ended like that, which kind of sucked. But I wish I would have had the chance to play in the tournament and really show what I could do when it mattered most. But everyone was the same in the same boat, and there's nothing we could do about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got a great opportunity with Clarkson. You played in 34 games, going 23, 8-2 with like a 1.78 goals against average. So, like, what was it like getting that refresh button going in your last year of college hockey and just playing the best hockey you have your entire college career?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. I mean, the second I stepped foot on campus, I could tell already that everything was really professional. All the guys wanted to be there. They wanted to put in the work, and there was that winning culture from the staff, the fans, and the players themselves. It was unbelievable to just show up to the rink, and everyone was dialed in. And obviously, that's the type of person I am. I show up to the rink and I'm ready to go. And if there's one thing you can be sure of, I'm going to be prepared to put in the work and making sure we win games. So yeah, it was really cool to be part of uh, the history of Clarkson too. They've been there for 98 years. So even getting to talk to some alums after games was super cool, and getting, yeah, just chipping in in the history of the program was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Made a ton of memories there and great stories. I would imagine just it helped you sign a professional contract with the New York Islanders. Like, what was it like signing that first NHL contract with the Islanders?
Well, first of all, our season, so we got called back. We were supposed to play our first round of playoffs, um, and then COVID happened March 13th, and usually you end your college career and it's a matter of weeks before you sign the pro contract after that. So it was kind of, okay, I'm gonna go home, but it's not so bad because something's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks. But um, it took time. It took me a month to kind of accept the fact that, okay, I might not know soon, and if I keep waiting for that to happen, I'm just gonna drive myself nuts. So I kind of took it day by day. It was a great life lesson to just embrace the uncertainty and just work at it on a daily basis and forget about anything that's out of my control. So it took from March till January to get news. So it was a
Long
bit of a
time.
grind. Yeah, long time. And as I said at the start of our talk, all that time I was trying to stay ready. Like I was grinding, going on the ice 3, 4 times a week, and everything was closed up here in Montreal. But I was finding ways to sneak into arenas and go to the gym. Sneaking, my trainer had a gym in his garage, so I would go there, drive there. I wasn't even supposed to leave home, but I would drive there, and we would work out in his garage. And I was probably in the best shape of my life, and that's what really saved me to be able to keep doing those things and kind of forget about the situation. So when it did come the time or January, um, signing was obviously a relief, just to have a place to go and to kind of keep going. um, on what I built the last couple of years. I didn't know when it was going to happen, but um, no, I was pretty excited to get the news and tried to make the most out of it.
Yeah, knowing that your hard work and the grind really paid off, and that you're gonna be playing hockey somewhere, sometime within the next few months after that.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was awesome. And be honest, the transition was still hard because you grind for all that time and you're practicing super hard. And like I said earlier, like you get into a team setting, and you still have the mindset of learning and working hard and all that stuff. So it's hard to transition after a year off uh, to be in that game mode. Um, but I mean, I learned so much from it that I'm super grateful it happened. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I love that because you keep grinding, like you keep grinding, and something's good's gonna happen, and it definitely came your way, and you took it and ran with it.
yeah.
Yeah. So Frank, I have a few more questions for you before we get things wrapped up here. So, do you have any tips for goaltenders looking to get to that next level?
I think just keep things simple. Um, some goalies are trying to do too much and putting too much pressure on themselves. Um, I think it all starts with doing one thing right and then piling on it. You can't just do everything at the same time and expect to have results and not burn out. I think it's a lesson I learned last year and that anyone can use. Like you can work as hard as you want, but if you work so hard that you begin to dread going to the rink or working out or any other thing, well, defying the purpose of playing the game. You're supposed to love the game and have fun playing it. So that would be my biggest advice, just to keep it simple, go to the rink, have fun, work on a few things at a time, don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I love that tip. So my next question for you is: you were named goaltender of the year in the ECAC your last year at Clarkson. So, like, how special was it being named goaltender of the year in your one and only season with Clarkson?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. I obviously, like I said, Clarkson has such a good history and the ECAC is such a good league, and being able to show up for my teammates and giving them a chance to win pretty much every night meant so much to me. Like you give me that award, but that award goes to my defenseman, the team in front of me. We played such unreal defense, and then we just capitalized on our chances up front, and we won a lot of games 3-2, 2-1, and um, yeah, I think it's that award goes to the whole team in front of me too. You could have put another goalie back there, and he probably would have done well. I'm not taking away from the job I did, but I mean, 75% at least of that award goes to the team in front of me.
Yeah, that's a team guy right there, saying the whole
Yeah,
team earned that, and just it is
yeah,
true
it's
though, because you don't win games without good defense.
right. No, it's cliche, and everyone says it, and you think I'm just saying it just to be politically correct, but it's true. You go to an organization that plays like really good defense and that focuses on defense. It makes your job so much easier, and like it's yeah, it's people don't say it enough. Like people want the credit, and I think if you give it away to people around you, well, it's gonna get back to you in some type of way. So that's why I do it, and I truly mean it when I say it. It's not just to please everyone else.
Yeah, that's awesome there. So my final question for you of the day is: what is Frank Marat's game day routine?
It got a lot better when I was in the CCHL. It started the night before actually, and it was down to the minute. But this year it was a bit softer. So I get up. Uh, I actually do meditation every day. So get up, meditate, and then I move a little bit. usually do some yoga, stretching. Um, then most of the time we have a morning skate, so I show up for my morning skate. I have a little routine to get warmed up, 5-10 minute routine. Foam roll, get dressed, probably the same exact way every time, just any other hockey player or goalie, and then hop on the ice. I'm usually not there for too long, just getting warm, peeling shots. Get off the ice, foam roll, go back home, chill for a little bit, maybe go for a walk, and then yeah, just have my really big pregame meal around 2, little snack at 4, and then head to the rink for 5. I don't like to wait around too much.
Yeah.
I like to get to the rink, get ready, and get going. So uh, no, I used to have a really big routine, but I mean, you're draining all your energy and focus on your pregame routine, and I know that I can get into a game and just take a couple breaths, and it's gonna recenter me. Like I've practiced enough times. I've had enough practice, enough games to know how I should feel during a game. So get into that game, take a couple breaths, and I'm back to myself. So um, yeah, my routine has evolved, but in a good way for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just whatever gets you ready for the
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Literally, the main point of this whole talk is probably that to me. Like, just keep it simple.
Yeah, exactly. So, Frank, this has been so much fun. So, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time and want to wish you the best of luck next season. And I look forward to following your career the rest of the way.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate that. Thanks for having me, and to anyone else listening, good luck in whatever you do. And to goalies, just keep going at it and keep it simple.
Love it. Let's go.